I think he'll do a very good job, and we'll see what happens. But I will say this, Matt Whitaker is a very highly respected man, and you didn't have any problems with Matt Whitaker when he worked for Jeff Sessions.
Well, President Trump's standing behind Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. This has 18 state attorneys general sign a letter calling on Whitaker to recuse himself from overseeing the Russia investigation. Let's bring in Alan Dershowitz, Harvard law professor emeritus and author of The Case Against Impeaching Trump. Well, Alan, you've heard the conversation that the country is having right now. You've heard the critics. You've heard the support of the president. Where do you stand here?
Well, a number of these attorney generals are people I know and I have a lot of respect for, but I think this particular petition is somewhat hypocritical because what they want is for the investigation to be conducted by Rod Rosenstein instead of Whitaker. Rod Rosenstein is much, much, much more subject to recusal than Whitaker. Rod Rosenstein is a witness. He's the one who wrote the letter. According to the book Fear, actually it was maybe his idea initially to fire Comey, and that's the main subject of the obstruction of justice investigation. And so you have a man overseeing the investigation who is a possible subject or target and certainly a witness of the investigation, and yet none of these state attorney generals are calling for his recusal. And so I think you have to look at both of these people, Whitaker and Rosenstein, and ask yourself whether Rosenstein should be involved in this investigation at all. The matter of Whitaker is, controversial and subject to dispute, but I think Rosenstein's recusal is not a matter of dispute. He should have been out of this case from day one.
And of course, in that op-ed Whitaker wrote last year, he argued that, quote, any investigation into President Trump's finances or the finances of his family would require Mueller to return to Rod Rosenstein for additional authority under Mueller's appointment as special counsel. Here's what one of those AGs, Massachusetts AG Maura Healey, writes in that request by the 18 state AGs. Acting AG Whitaker's hostility to the special counsel's investigation disqualifies him from overseeing Robert Mueller. We are leading 18 state attorneys general in calling on Whitaker to recuse himself immediately. #protect Mueller. Where does this go?
Well, first of all, Healy, who's a very good AG, leaves out the fact that Rosenstein has expressed real hostility toward President Trump. He said he wanted to tape him, that he might be subject to removal from office under the 25th Amendment. Look, you have to pass the shoe on the other foot test. If the arguments you're making against Whitaker are even more strongly applicable to Rosenstein, you can't just make the arguments against Whitaker. You have to make them equally strongly against Rosenstein. And I just think that unless you do that, it shows a real partisanship and political thumb on the scale. So I would hope that the state attorneys general would think very hard about whether Rosenstein, under their criteria, should be recused. And I think the answer to that is clearly yes, he should be recused.
Very interesting. Alan Dershowitz, great to have you back on the program this morning. Thank you.